Nitish. So this is the fourth edition of Design Hackathon. Last year, the theme was reuse and refuse, and before that, preparing for the next worldwide disaster. And we had lovely presentations and ideas coming up from the participants. This year, now in next 2 days, we will be celebrating 75th Independence Day, right? And at this juncture, I think it is very important for all of us to look back and also look forward, right? So we have reached so far, and there is so much that we can achieve in the next 25 years. So keeping that in line with the theme for this year is, all right, the theme is India at 100. So the theme generally is given very wide, so it kind of gives many opportunities for the participants to think, explore, ideate a problem that is worth solving, and they can identify an area and they can start working on it. So now I would like to request Professor Vyas to spend a few minutes on expanding this particular theme so that all the participants, mentors, educators, everybody can gain some insights into the theme and how the theme can be actually be implemented or understood in the context of various categories so that they can find a problem worth solving and they can work on that problem. Professor Vyas?
Thank you, Umesh. In fact, I would like to be very broad because I don't want to really create any kind of boundaries for students' imagination and not to bias anyway. They would like to present the India at 100 because we are celebrating this India at 75, so 20 years ahead. But I look into that what was there 25 years before is that is very sharp in my memory. But even I go that how really technology, which is enabler for our imagination to think any possibilities, and especially my generation, which has gone through this change from money order to the children would not be knowing that how money was sent from one point to another, how telegram was going from one point to another, how telephones when we had to book the trunk calls, how it was going from one place to another, and how afterwards the STD call services came, and how the television has come where you can see the images, and how winning all this the sports, especially the Asian game when 1983 television. So this whole thing where some technology is developed and then people look into various kind of solutions and going forward. And I think when Mr. Ghate was talking about that the people are important and technology is enabler, user is a very important aspect into it. I think that is what we need to take, that the technology is going very fast. Future is fiction. You can imagine, in fact, when we were children, when we used to read comics, and we saw that in those comics, the robotics were there. And I'm not joking, 50 years ago, we saw these comics talking about the robotics, and robotics has become the reality. So I would say that you have got these various categories, and you have got India at 100. Think big, think meaning if we say that how you are going to design a vehicle on the moon, I think you should be able to just open up the imagination and see who knows what is there in your ideas which are going to be extremely useful, and this will really have unlimited imagination in the area where you are working. And don't hesitate about anything, because we are talking India at 100. How how the agriculture is going
once
to
we
be
get
there, how
the
healthcare is
minister,
going to be there,
we
how
peacefully
transportation is
submissions
going to
coming
be
in.
there, how
Last time total
I mean,
submissions are
people
around
started talking about
100.
flying cars actually, and it was there in comics earlier, and then flying car is becoming realization. How you make a very happy, which again Mr. Ghate talked about, how you make very happy society, how you see very
Yeah.
inclusivity into the thing, the world without any violence, the world
That
without
was
any pain, all these possibilities which you can think of, create a scenario. It is a scenario building. In fact, in design thinking, the scenario building becomes very important, that you pick up the ideas, make a collage and see that this is likely to happen. How people would like to even imagine their living. Would they like to have so many technological ads, or they would like to have a very peaceful, what you call very basic lifestyle kind of thing. So 25 years is not very far, but the way technology is going, uh, any imagination is possible. Let us look into what is that positive imagination to make this world a real place for living, and uh, uh, happy, healthy, and I think prosperous, and not the way at the moment the we all are struggling of the sustainable development goals which United Nations has talked about, that these are the things which we need to achieve by 2030, 35. How we can really think about this and come out, because you are the young minds, you don't have boundaries in your mind, you don't have any kind of what you call limiting factors. And mind you, there is nobody is going to give you the examination grade to go in the next or uh, running the race of coming number one, number two in the classroom, or trying to get a fixed future. So my suggestion certainly would be
You wanted to eat
that
for lunch?
open up your mind, try and visualize how you can think that in India at 100, whichever
Mr.
area,
Coming
whichever
soon around?
what you call vertical you are going to theme, you
Good
are going to
boy.
take it up. Imagine without any boundaries, and
Good.
show it whatever way. I think that toothbrush and other things which were there, if you want to make some sketches,
What
models, or paper
you
models
want
or
to eat for
something,
lunch?
surely it will be great thing to
What
share.
did
And I
you
know
eat for
that
lunch?
you are going to tell us some very interesting ideas tomorrow evening by doing so, and many of them maybe we can take it up
What's
in near future. So thank you very much, Umesh.
Yeah.
I don't know,
was
I
it
didn't want to
yummy?
really block their imaginations and wanted to keep it very open. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Professor Vyas. May I request Narendra Gate to share some of his views on the topic? And next, I would
Okay,
like to
man.
request Dr.
See you.
Amitoj as well to share some of his insights. Just for your record, uh, Narendra Gate, I was reporting to him when I was working in Tata Elxsi. He was my boss, ex-boss. And Dr. Amitoj was my senior at IIT Delhi. And I'm very happy to be interacting with them in this online platform. Narendra Gate, over to you.
I wish you're more of a friend. Yeah. Hey, this is a brilliant topic. That's a brilliant theme. I think, and it's an ideal kind of thing to have for a young designer or for a design hackathon. I mean, India at 100, I mean, what can be more aspirational? And there are so many ways that you can look at it. Some that Pradyumna just now said, and you can keep expanding. Do you see a problem today that you wish that goes away? And yes, it will go away because 25 years of progress will happen. So that could be one way of looking. Another way could be just pure aspirational. This is how, imagine there is no money, imagine there is no illness, imagine something else. The point is, it allows that imagination and that deep thinking or that creativity to really come out. The other thing that I want to say here, which I hope all of you all noticed, uh, when Umesh showed these two winning entries, none of them showed skill, right? It was not about how beautiful the drawing is, and it was not about the skills. Skills can be learned, skills will happen. It is about thinking. It is about wanting to solve the problem. It is about being able to solve the problem. And it is about going not just in one direction, not just, let's say, drawing something, talking to people, searching on the net, making quick prototypes, doing something else. So this aspect of having an ability to think in very different channels and not getting bogged down by your skills. Again, it was said today that, in fact, Amitoj said that you need not worry about your weaknesses. In fact, you need not look at it from your point of view at all. You need not look at it in terms of what you know and what you don't know. It has to be in terms of what it should happen and what, let's say, can happen. So this is a great topic, and I think you all will have such great fun in the next 2 days. So best of luck, and like I said earlier, please have fun doing it. That's the best way to be.
Thank you, Naren. That was a nice observation that you have made. It was all about the thinking, it's not the skill, right? It's not how beautiful the drawings are, but how brilliant the ideas are and how beautifully they could present with whatever materials that were available with them, right? So thank you for that observation. Um, Dr. Amitoj?
Yeah, sure. No, the topic is really interesting and very exciting. Um, my suggestion would be, as mentioned by Professor Vyas, it can be seen as a scenario planning kind of an exercise. One tip which I can give to students is, when designing for the future, instead of trying to extrapolate today's reality, and another interesting approach is to visualize yourself in India at 100 and look backwards. So there is an interesting story by an American author in 1819, a story about Rip Van Winkle, who was an American Dutch American character who met a mysterious Dutchman, and he slept for 20 years. And when he woke up, he had actually missed the American Revolution. So Rip Van Winkle could be an interesting story, that if you imagine there is a person today who sleeps for 25 years and wakes up at India at 100, how that person, he or she, would look back what happened in the last 25 years. So you could imagine yourself into the future and look backwards rather than trying to look forwards from today. So with that, I leave it to your creativity and imagination. I'm sure you have many better ideas than what I can think of, or anyone here can think of. The young children can inspire us all. So best wishes, and create a great future for yourselves and your friends and families.
Sure. Shanthi Menon, ma'am?
Thank you, Pooja. Umesh, that was a fabulous thought. I mean, lovely theme for the year. Since the students from my school are also participating, we were not privy to the theme either. I completely understand. So this is, I think, a limitless set of kind of ideas that can be, triggered. I like the keynote that Mr. Singh talked about, rather Mr. Ghati talked about. It's not about your skill. You don't need to specifically, worry about are you ready for a thing of this kind, but it's about how you let your mind loose. I think every eminent speaker here has spoken about allowing your mind to freely think in a free country like ours. I wish the children the best. It's an enjoyable. I just wish I was a student there myself, but opportunity to you children, all of you who are participating, let your minds freak out in your own terms, in your own lingo. Have fun, think through it all. There's great opportunity. You have fabulous mentors from the last 2 years that we have seen, of mentors working with students. There's so much learning. It's not about winning. Let's just remember that. It's about remembering to let your mind think. We can forget the prize for now, it doesn't matter. But you get recognized in your own mind about how you're able to think beyond the box that the education system has put us into. Have fun, all of you. Thank you for the opportunity, Ms. Pooja.
Thank you, Miss Menon.